Eating healthy at work is not as hard as you think. In fact, there are fast food items, yes, I said it, fast food items that take little to no preparation that you can have ready-made at your desk for easy snacking without the guilt. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Evie Bartlett. I'm a registered dietitian and you are watching Joyful Nutrition. Today is the second part of a three-part series all about finding ways to have more energy and focus during the workday. If you missed the last video, I'll add a link towards the end of this one so you can check it out when you're finished here. So let's dive in. Today I'm going to continue from my last video, which was all about increasing your energy by increasing your activity level. But along with the ever-growing issue of people living a sedentary lifestyle, there's also the issue of absent-mindedly eating while sitting at a desk. I know this has been true for me in the past, especially while I was a student. And go figure, I felt my worst when I was in school. Just the task of having to do work at a computer for many hours at a time was all it took to cause me to want to have my favorite treats available at my desk. My way of justifying my guilty pleasures were to tell myself that eating a bowl of chocolate almonds was compensation for the fact that I'd much rather be doing something different than staring at a screen. Now I know that chocolate-covered almonds are not the worst snack, but I didn't mention the size of the bowl. Moderation, even with something that has potential to be healthy, is always something to consider. But I definitely get the feeling of wanting to have food that's comforting and enjoyable while you're working at a desk. So am I saying that food while you work is bad? Definitely not. The problem is that usually when we crave food that will feel satisfying while doing mundane tasks, we aren't typically choosing things that will actually help us out in the long run. If more energy and focus are what we say we want, then potato chips, candy bars, and gummies are not the way to go. So why are these high sugar and high fat types of foods so desirable? You might say, well, they're just my favorite comfort foods and they make me feel happy when I eat them. The dark side to this is that in reality, it's so much more than that. According to neuroscientist Dr. Amy Richelt, foods that are high in refined sugar, salt, processed carbohydrate, and fats activate the reward center in our brain, which causes the release of a chemical called dopamine. So what's wrong with activating a reward center? We're wanting comfort after all. The problem is processed foods that you find beautifully marketed and packaged with misleading advertisements, such as high in vitamin C or low fat, are actually probably not as high in vitamin C as they'd like you to think, since vitamin C is known to denature with just about any processing, and low fat is often a disguise for high sugar. But since these foods are manufactured perfectly to light up the pleasure centers in your brain, when you eat them, you automatically feel good, at least for the time being. Since no food in nature is going to naturally cause such an intense reaction, our brain has to adapt to the overwhelming amount of pleasure response the junk food is triggering. The problem here is similar to a drug addict. Your brain then starts to desire the food to get the same sense of pleasure, but now it needs more of the junk food to get the same response. This is when the risk for obesity increases, since our desire for the food makes us impulsive and we overeat even when we aren't actually hungry. Highly processed foods, while conveniently packaged, are actually the most inconvenient thing you could eat when it comes to gaining more energy and focus. In fact, refined foods made with white flour, white sugar, or foods that are full of unhealthy fats and processed ingredients are known to cause inflammation throughout the body. Inflammation is a huge energy sucker. Those ingredients also decrease the brain's learning capabilities, reduce the number of new neurons produced in your brain, and can cause a list of other health disorders, including depression. Now, if this isn't affecting your focus, I don't know what would. If you'd like to read more about this, I have an easy-to-read article linked in the description box below. It goes a little more in depth with this topic. So because of the strong response from our brain, it makes sense that foods that are prepackaged, ready-made, and grab-and-go tend to win out when it comes to meals and snacks at the workplace. This is an epidemic in our culture where people eat poor quality foods, feel tired as a result, and then feel like they have no energy to fix the problem. So as you can see, this cycle continues on repeat until eventually adverse health conditions arise, or the person finally takes control of their eating habits. Now, I believe that since you're the ones watching this video, you will also be the ones to take control and feed yourself well. But where do we start? So all of this can seem overwhelming and negative, but there's actually really good news. Simple tweaks to your daily habits can make a big difference in your overall health and, most importantly, how you feel and are able to focus during the workday or in life in general. Research shows that more than half of Americans struggle to eat healthy at work, but 9 out of 10 of those people are also interested in improving their health through choosing better meal options. The best way to start any new habit is with baby steps. Small tweaks in the way you're currently doing things for a period of time until eventually it becomes second nature. A European study of social psychology concluded that on average, it takes about 2 months for a new behavior to become automatic. Now that might sound like a long time, but consider how long the old unhealthy habits have been going on. In retrospect, what is 2 months of gaining better health habits in comparison to the rest of your life? Yes, changing our habits can be uncomfortable at first, but the benefits of living a healthier life outweigh the temporary discomfort. Luckily, the tips I'm going to share with you today will be so easy that you'll be wondering why you haven't been doing them all along. Tip number 1, set yourself up for success. Always eat something for breakfast. This tip is age-old, but many of you are still not eating anything before racing out the door for work. One of the best ways to combat overeating and binging on junk food while at the office is to make sure your belly has something in it before you get there. For you coffee drinkers out there, yes, coffee does fill you up temporarily, but 2 hours into the day, you're most likely reaching for your drawer of low-quality snack foods to hold you over until lunch. Another way to look at drinking coffee without breakfast is to compare it to adding turbocharge to an engine without adding any fuel. The best way to make sure to eat something along with your morning drink is to plan for it the night before. Think of your evenings as the start of your next day. A high-protein breakfast is the best approach to keeping your energy up, your belly full, and your waistline trim. Studies show that protein, such as scrambled eggs, yogurt, and tofu, cause people to eat less calories because they feel full longer. And high protein at breakfast can help to boost metabolism by up to 100 calories per day. Blueberries, walnuts, and chia seeds make excellent toppings for your morning yogurt, and they're simple ingredients that can be set out the night before. Boiled eggs are also a great way to plan ahead for an on-the-go breakfast. Have them shelled in glass containers in your refrigerator and grab one on the way out the door for a no-brainer breakfast snack. Bananas are nature's fast food, and when paired with your boiled egg, you're now getting a better idea of a balanced breakfast containing protein, carb, and fat. No time to pre-plan? Grab your banana and a carton of milk and head out the door. The key here is to always have your shelves stocked with easy-to-prepare foods like I mentioned above. Other great options for a quick breakfast is old-fashioned oatmeal with sliced almonds and blueberries, or avocado with a fried egg and maybe some salsa on top if you're feeling adventurous. And now you're free to drink that coffee. Get your engines going and get to work. Tip number 2 is pre-plan healthy snacks. So now that you're at the workplace, or if you work from home, you're at your desk, how do you prevent yourself from mindless snacking? Well, one option is to keep your snacks far away from your desk so you're required to get up and move in order to get them. Now you get the added movement points along with the perk of less accessible food items. So say a few hours into the workday, your breakfast meal is now gone and your mind starts to get sluggish. You start to think about your nearest junk food drawer. Well, one obvious tip is to empty your junk food drawer and replace the low-quality foods with ones that will actually increase your energy rather than deplete it. The good news is I've got you covered with several quick and easy, guilt-free snacks that can be prepared the night before or kept at your desk for the week. Snack number 1 is celery or baby carrots and peanut butter. This can be prepared in advance in little baggies or glass containers and stocked in your office fridge 1 day per week. Peanut butter can now be purchased at your local grocery store in conveniently packaged containers for easy use. Just be sure to read the food label and choose the cleanest option. Snack number 2 is walnuts, cashews, and almonds, or pretty much any of the nut variety is going to be a great option for an easy, satisfying, unperishable snack at your desk. One note for this snack is to watch the sodium content. Opt for lightly or unsalted varieties and shoot for about half a cup or less. Number 3 is grapes. Grapes can be pre-washed and put in baggies or glass bowls 1 day per week and then taken one at a time in the morning so they remain fresh. Mindless hand-to-mouth behavior is now not so worrisome since grapes are low in calories and full of liquid, so they make you feel satisfied sooner. Grapes are the ultimate finger food, and for those of you interested, they're also packed full with anti-aging properties. If grapes aren't your thing, cherries are a close second if you don't mind the pits. Number 4 is tangerines. No preparation is needed for these. Keep them at your desk or in the break room for another easy access finger food. The nutrients and fiber content of these wonder fruits will please your appetite and get you over the midday slump. Pairing fruit with a protein is always optimal, so fruit and nuts together is better than fruit by itself. Number 5 is not as obvious, but for me, having a warm cup of my favorite tea is a great cravings buster. Not only is the warmth comforting, but tea is known for its antioxidant and mood-boosting properties, which can come in handy at work. Also, liquid takes space in your belly, which makes you feel full and less likely to crave food when you're more bored than hungry. Visit your local grocery store to try different flavors and find your favorite tea. Keep a special mug at your desk and fill it with hot water periodically while slipping in your favorite tea bag. I promise there's something magic about a good cup of tea. My favorite for the midday boost is jasmine or green tea with a tiny bit of stevia sweetener. The caffeine is slow release versus coffee, which is immediate release, and can actually increase feelings of anxiousness. I prefer a good quality jasmine tea most days as it has a beautiful aroma and makes a stress-relieving, comforting treat before or after lunch. Notice the simplicity of the snacks that I've mentioned. They take little to no preparation and are healthy, nutrient-dense, and completely guilt-free. I kept it simple on purpose. We're conditioned as a society to believe that healthy eating is difficult, but a lot of that has to do with mindset and retraining our attitude when it comes to food. Poor quality diets cause a plethora of unwanted health issues and actually make us feel worse in the long run, even while promising to make us feel better. Since we spend so much of our time at work, it makes sense that we should feed ourselves well while we're working on the job. You are worth taking care of. Let your food choices be a reflection of how you feel about you. Which brings me to my next video, which is about taking care of your mental health while at work. Join me here next week at Joyful Nutrition to learn 5 healthy hacks to stay mentally healthy while on the job, at home, or in the office. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw today, go ahead and hit the like button and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more health and wellness hacks I'll be bringing to you each week. Have a joyful and blessed day.